Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Them on the Moon. Are we going? What? Excellent. Okay, here we go. Welcome to Wonderneath Weekly, where I share what I'm wondering about every week. I'm growing my beard. Let's start off right with the questions. Here we go. First thing, why are there so many ladyboys in Thailand, but not any man girls? I wonder this, right? You see a lot of ladyboys, you don't see a lot of man girls. So let's look and see what we got. Thailand has a visible population of transgender women, often referred to as ladyboys, but far fewer visibly transgender men or man girls. This difference is rooted in a mix of cultural, social, religious, and economic factors unique to Thai society. So I won't read you this whole thing, but basically what I was learning, it's a bit complicated, obviously, but one of the factors is that transitioning from man to woman is easier and cheaper medically than the opposite transition. There's this weird thing where there's so much more opportunity and there's like more of a place in the society and the culture for ladyboys because of like nightlife, sex work, and entertainment and like all these things. So you can actually confer a benefit from going from a man to a woman more than the opposite. And also, I think it looks like there's like a social stigma if you're like a girly dude. So you don't want to be a girly dude. You want to just go full chick, like be a ladyboy, and it's less frowned upon. Whereas if you're a girl and you're just kind of a manly girl and you dress like a tomboy, no one really cares. But if you're gonna be a dude, you want to be a freaking dude. And if you don't want to be a dude, you want to be a full on ladyboy, basically. So, um, and there's multiple other factors, and apparently the male to female thing has been there's been a place for that in Thai culture for a long time. So, but what I was wondering, like, there just is less gender dysphoria that's like a woman wanting to be a man versus a man wanting to be a woman, and I was trying to kind of figure out why that's the case. Um, and couldn't really get an answer, but if you know or you have an idea, let me know, comment or something, because that's what I was kind of interested in, because it is weird that there's like not it's uncommon to see the other transition, and I don't fully understand that, so we'll see. I don't know. Okay, next one. What's the best way to know my hydration level? So this is about what I thought, but it's urine color. Obviously, if you have dark urine, it's not good. Um, Dry mouth, dizziness. You can measure your body weight if you're thirsty. Obviously, dirt. Oh, and then the skin thing. If you like press on your skin or pinch your skin, like how quickly the color returns. And yeah, so that's kind of what is the best way for that. But then I was asking, can you have dark urine and still be hydrated? Like if you have dark urine, is it for sure sign you're dehydrated? And it's apparently not, because different foods and different things can cause you to have dark urine and you could still be hydrated. So we're learning that. I was thinking I was dehydrated, if you couldn't guess that. Uh, okay. Next one. Ooh, this is cool. What's the highest tier of Marines? So this is interesting. I never knew this. Um, so Marine Raiders, MARSOC. So that's like the tier one, or sorry, it's tier two of the military or the Marines, right? And so there's apparently not really a lot of tier one units. Like, so Marine Raiders is the highest level of Marine, which is only tier two. Force Recon, which is Marines, that's a tier two as well. Then you have Delta Force, Army Delta Force, which is a tier one. SEAL Team 6, which is Navy, which is a tier 1. And then this other one I've never heard of, which is the 24th STS, which is an Air Force tier 1 unit. And they apparently like support, they kind of like embed themselves in the other tier 1 units and support them. Operators most often attach to other tier 1 units like Delta Force or SEAL Team 6 and enable their mission with advanced air capabilities, precision targeting, combat medicine, and battlefield coordination. So they're kind of like helper tier 1s. But it's crazy to think there's only really 3 tier 1 that we know about. And then the Marines doesn't have one, which is interesting. And I was like, man, that's interesting. And the World War II podcast I was listening to, they were talking about the Marine Raiders in facing Japan. So that's kind of interesting. Military is crazy. I'm freaking speed running this today, so let's go to the next one. How did the ambassador in Benghazi die? So I was learning about the incident in Benghazi at the embassy. I think it was like 2006 or something, a long time ago, 2010 maybe. And the ambassador died, and he died to smoke inhalation because they set fires to the embassy and stuff like that. And so some people died in the fires, including the ambassador. But that whole Benghazi situation, like that 13 Hours movie or book, there's a book and a movie, I think of it. It has, what's his name? I forget his name, but that story's crazy, man. And I had an interesting, because, okay, in the story, a bunch of dudes get hit with a mortar on top of a roof. One of the guys goes up there named Tig, and he finds two of the guys are dead. Two of the guys are really wounded, so he tries to put some tourniquets on the wounded guys, and then he gets down. He's asking for help, and then after the mortar stopped, the Delta Force guys go up there, and they just freaking chuck the dead guys off the roof, which were this guy's homies. So he's down on the bottom, and he just sees his homies they don't chuck him, they push him over the edge to get him down, and they just slamming on the ground. It apparently really kind of fucked him up to see that. But anyways, I didn't know that at the time, and I just saw like a little blurb about it on social media about people getting thrown off the roof. So I Perplexity, hey, what's with the people getting thrown off the roof in Benghazi? And Perplexity tells me, oh, no one got thrown off the roof. It's not true, and it is conspiracy, and it was misreported, and all this. Gives me this big thing. Then I watch the full interview of that guy Tig, who's like the main character in the story, right? And he gives this full. I watched the Sean Ryan, freaking hours of this guy's full thing, and he talks about seeing them throw the dudes off the roof and them crashing on the ground. And then there was another dude who confirmed that, who was in Benghazi, who's never spoken to the media ever. But he just gave a statement to Sean Ryan and mentioned that he also saw them throw the guys off the roof. So then I asked Perplexity, hey, so if this isn't real, why am I watching the people that were there claim that they saw it? And then Perplexity's like, oh, actually it did happen. Sorry. And it's not like it was malicious. They threw him off the roof. That was the only way they could get him down and blah, blah, blah. And then like said all that. And I was just like, bro, come on. So that kind of made me distrustful of Perplexity. So you got to really check. Just saying. It's like, dude, man, that shit makes me rage when I'm like, why are you lying? And it's like, oh yeah, sorry, I was lying. I'm just like, stop. Frustrating. Okay, last one here. What are the meaningful differences between Sunni and Shia Islam? Okay, so apparently it basically goes to Sunnis believe that the leader should be chosen by the community's consensus, and they supported Abu Bakr, a close companion of Muhammad, as the first caliph after the prophet's death. And then Shias thought it should stay in the family. So Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law, they thought it should be him. So that's how it's split. And then there's other differences. But apparently Sunni is like the main one. It's like 85 to 90% of Muslims are Sunni Muslims. And then there's a few other meaningful differences, but that's the main difference, which I never knew that. So we're learning things, baby. We're learning things. Okay. Let's go with the rest of the update. What I'm watching. Vivek on free speech. So apparently Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes got banned from YouTube, and so Vivek is like, don't ban them. So he has this video about how the importance of free speech on the platform and for our country. It's very well said, very well put. I would recommend it. This is Balaji talking about the collapse of the West. Has me really wanting to like move out of America, even though I haven't been living in America. I'm thinking about getting out of America. I feel like the collapse is undeniable at this point, in my opinion. But yeah. Okay. This is crazy. Ready? This is Charlie Kirk assassination. Conspiracy.
Charlie Kirk's Israeli security detail killed Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk's assassin is caught on tape. Blake Bednar has brought us this video. We'll break it down. Take a look at this. Here it is from the wide angle. Watch Charlie Kirk's right side of his t-shirt. Watch the lavalier lapel mic. Do you see it explode? Let's bring it in just a little bit closer. Watch this. Put it in a freeze frame. That is the explosion from Charlie Kirk's lavalier lapel mic. Want to see it again? Bring it in closer. Remember when we told you that that was absolutely an exit wound? Yeah, it is. Check the trajectory of the round that was deployed from that lavalier lapel mic.
Oop.
That went directly from Charlie Kirk's lapel. That went directly from underneath Charlie Kirk's white t-shirt up through his neck and created the exit wound that we told you was an exit wound immediately when we saw that exit wound. First we had exploding pagers. Now we have exploding mics. Do you remember the vector analysis from John Bray? That proves that all of the activity came from the mic that Charlie Kirk was wearing. Remember the palm gun guy in the brown?
So, okay, you can go watch the rest of this for yourself. I'm not going to say that that is 1,000,000% accurate, but it explains a lot because there was all this talk about his like earpiece or something, which turns out his necklace breaks off and flings, right? And if you think about where the lapel mic was and where his necklace is, that makes sense why his necklace broke off and flung out. And then you see that there's literally, here, I'll go back. You got to watch this. You can see this dude who looks like he's detonating the pager. Watch this. Watch this guy.
Yeah, he pushes the detonator.
Listen.
Clear as day.
Right when it hits. And then that dude, if you watch the rest of this, you can go to my post in the description if you want to watch this. But he goes over and he gives something to some guy who is around Charlie Kirk, and then he runs off, and there's another guy who literally like slides over the table after Charlie Kirk gets shot, like jumps over the table, gets something and puts it in his pocket. And it's like, dude, if there was an active shooter, why would you run straight in front and jump over the table if you didn't know what was going on? So there's a bunch of weird stuff. With that being said, I also just watched this insanely in-depth analysis of the angle and the video, and this guy who's super educated on guns and weapons, and he breaks down like ballistic gel and like all this, goes deep dive into the angles and the bullets and the way everything works and the physics of it. And it's interesting because with the high-powered gun, apparently, if you watch it shoot ballistic gel, there's a thing called a cavitation event, and it's like it's a thousandth of a second. But basically, once the bullet enters somewhere, like ballistic gel or a person, it like there's this cavitation. You could see in the ballistic gel that's clear, the bullet goes in, and then it bulges out like crazy, and then goes out. You know, and there's this crazy cavitation, and you can see that happening with Charlie. One of the angles, even though it's only for a split second, you can see this cavitation happening in his chest and neck, where it just. And that is mainly happens from incredibly high-powered hunting rifle, right? That cavitation, you don't get such a big cavitation from lower-powered handguns and different things. So the idea that the pager would cause that cavitation doesn't necessarily line up. So that's kind of why I think maybe that isn't a good idea. I guess, sorry, not a pager, the lavalier mic. But this guy is saying that the lack of an exit wound is basically impossible. They said, oh, like the coroner literally said it's a miracle it didn't go out the other side, because you look at any of these hunting rifles shooting stuff, and it's like, bro, they go through this much ballistic gel and they cause insane damage. Like it would have blown out his whole neck. Like it would have, like, I have yet to see a hunter or a person who knows guns think that he could get shot there with the hunting rifle and it not go out the other end of its neck. It's basically impossible. The theory is, though, that the actual shooter was at a different position, and it went in his neck and down into his body, which explains the cavitation in his body and the lack of the exit wound. So I don't know. I'm not like saying anything for sure. All I know is it's freaking weird, dude. And the more I look into it and the more this stuff starts coming out, I just go, buddy, this is weird. There's just so many weird questions about it. And so I'm watching Candace Owens because she's like going hard. And so I almost guarantee you when she gets back on her live streams on Monday, she's gonna hit this. I'm not 1,000% sure, but this is, if you look at the comments of that video, it's just people tagging Candace Owens. Like, it's crazy. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, we'll go back to my update now. Sorry for that rant, but it's freaking interesting, dude. I don't know what's going on, but okay, what I'm reading, Ezekiel. So I get into Ezekiel in the Bible, reading along, and Ezekiel starts out with this crazy vision, which is like one of the classic things of the angels and the cherubim, where it's like a four-faced guy with a bunch of wings and these concentric circles with eyes on them, which is their spirits in there. And it's interesting. It's like this crazy vision he has, and it just sounds like a freaking drug trip, you know? And it's interesting because he like stresses that the cherubims don't turn when they change directions. They just go whatever direction they're facing without turning. And he says that multiple times. And he also talks about how the wheels move with them and their spirit is in the wheel. And it's just wild. I'm just like, wow, man, this is crazy. He has like a couple different visions and stuff, but pretty wild. It's pretty wild stuff in Ezekiel. Okay, what I'm listening to. Ray, Where the Hell Is My Husband? Sick music video. The song is a freaking banger, dude. The groove in it, oh my god, it's just vibes, dude. It just freaking grooves, dummy. And then what else I'm listening to is I'm still going on this Supernova in the East, hardcore history, Japan, World War II history, and I love it. And it's at this point I'm so deep into it, and it's like I think it's 6 4-hour episodes, and it's so interesting, and it's just shifting my worldview to learn about the things that went down in the conflict with Japan in World War II. It is just mind-boggling. And the Japanese people, dude, they're built different. Like the shit they do is insane. And I'm getting to not necessarily the very end of the conflict, but it's once the Allies really start having the upper hand and they have like a super decisive naval defeat of the Japanese and they start taking over way more islands, and they're taking over this. Here's the thing. They're taking over this island, Saipan. And basically, once the Allies and the U.S. take over that island, they'll be able to just hit a there and back bombing run to Japan. So Japan's like, trying to not get this taken over. Well, they do get it taken over. And there's these stories of Japanese soldiers where they're hiding in caves and stuff. And this is honestly kind of chill mode compared to the stuff that happened. But apparently there's a cave with some army officers and stuff, and some women and children and babies. And they know that the Americans are like up on the road and around the caves. And so the army officer in there orders the women to kill their babies that are crying so they can't hear them. And he says, kill your babies or I'll do it. And the guy who's telling the story, who was another army guy, says that the women just killed the babies. And I'm just like, oh my God. And it's so crazy. It's also getting to this part where, the Japanese know they're cooked, and so they just start committing suicide like crazy, and they do these bonsai runs where they just get drunk and freaking just basically kamikaze attack soldiers, and then they all just kill themselves and stuff. Like there's mass suicides of the soldiers where the officer the dudes will all line up and he'll just chop all their heads off and then kill himself, and the admirals and generals and stuff, they're harikari in themselves, and a bunch of civilians are committing suicide, and it's just freaking crazy. The Japanese strip women naked and give them spears and have them go attack the Americans, like, because they think maybe the Americans won't kill women, but like, it's freaking just the shit they did is crazy. And there's all these stories of Americans when they were taken over. I think it was maybe another island near there, but a lot of the locals are all committing suicide. And he's like, dude, there's just tons of families up on cliffs and they're just chucking their kids off the cliffs and jumping off after them or blowing themselves up with grenades, and like, all these, American World War II soldiers just going, what the hell is happening? Like, what is this? And just crazy, man. The mindset and the culture of the Japanese in that war, and the way the shit they did, and the way they came at it. And it's interesting because if you listen to the whole series, you get this view from like right when Japan stops having samurais, like a long, long time ago, and he walks you through all the way up until the war. And so you actually do get this good idea of the culture and politically what was happening in Japan and what their situation were and how they did stuff. And it's just freaking mind-boggling. It just blows my freaking mind. It's just so crazy. I love listening to it. I love learning it. I love when I learn history and things and it like changes my worldview. I'm like, this changes the way I look at the world and the things that are happening in the world and human nature and how lucky we are right now to have things be relatively chill in a lot of the world compared to these kind of conflicts and stuff, and just all these freaking naval battles and the subtleties and intricacies of between what kind of planes they had and the little different decisions they made that turned the tide of the battle, and so blah blah blah. And it's just freaking amazing. It's just such a good series. And anytime I share something like this, like I sent it to my brother because I was like, dude, you'll love this. This is freaking amazing. It's so mind-blowing. It's so cool. And I just want to share it. And it's like one of those things that someone makes that they spend so much time on it. Everyone's like, why aren't you producing more episodes? Why aren't you doing more? Blah, 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 and roasting him. But he just takes his time, does an insane amount of research, and just produces this, you know, whatever, 20 hours of audio that just takes you on this journey, and it's legitimately shifts your way you look at the world and life. And at least for me, and I know Hardcore Histories are regarded as one of the best podcasts of all time, and it really isn't. It's just cool to see someone with a deep passion and understanding of something take the time to put something together that's just really timeless and amazing and so impactful. It's just cool, inspiring to me. Love it. Anyways, let's keep going. Photo dump. We got a screen cap from my music video here. Look at that. Very cool, in my opinion. I'm going to show some clips of that in a second. But Pharaoh Dan, working out. Got my towel on my head because my hair's getting long now. Dude, I was in this Uber. Look at this, bro. This dude had this insane speaker setup, right? Giant subs in the back and this crazy lights and stuff. And at first he wasn't playing any music, but I was like, he couldn't speak English, but I translated. I was like, hey, you want to blap some music? So he let me DJ. He gave me the screen and had me just playing music. So I was just in there freaking vibing because I had like a probably 45-minute car ride. And it's funny because at first he was kind of timid, but then he started like cranking the volume, and we're in there just like freaking in traffic, just bumping Drake and stuff. Like, it was freaking awesome. So that was a fun Uber ride. This is me and my kittens when a long time ago in 2014. My mom sent me that. This is Tika. And what was this one's name? Tika and I can't remember this freaking name. They were both Indian foods, I think. Tiki. Oh, no, this was Tiki and this was Masala. That's what it was. But it's like Tikka Masala. But this one ended up getting named Tiki and this was Masala. I think Masala got eaten by the coyotes and we gave Tikka away when we moved. But anyways, got a hung tie. Speak of it. Freshie. Woo! And then we got this interesting chart I saw, which is the price of streaming services. And you'll notice, look at this, flat, 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 flat. They're all flat. What happens? 2020, right here. 2020, everything starts skyrocketing. Why does that happen? In my opinion, that happens because in 2020 was COVID, and the United States printed basically so much money, it inflated the currency, right? So then it devalues the shit out of the currency, and then everything has to be more expensive. And then you see our currency just running away and getting debased, which is why I just put half of my cash savings into crypto, or it's like going to be buying crypto with half of my cash savings for the next few weeks. And then I sold a bunch of stocks, like, I don't know, probably a bunch of my stocks that I'm like the ones I like the least and care about the least, and then put all that back into MicroStrategy's stock because they're like a Bitcoin company now. So I'm just I'm risking it, but I'm putting as much money in crypto and spending the least amount of money as I can and just dumping into crypto because I think we're about to see some serious situation in the next year or so. So that's my guess with that. So let's listen to a demo now. So here's my song I wrote last week and I really like it. And it's a demo, so the vocals are kind of sketchy. It doesn't sound that good, but let's listen to it and we'll vibe. It's called What to Do. And I'm happy with it. So, and I got another session tomorrow and I'll write another song and show you next week, but let's listen to this. Here we go. I don't know what to do.
I fear a little bit, and I know that I won't rest tonight. It's spinning in my head, and it goes till I meet the sunrise.
Come on.
I'm stressed, I'm good, I'm lost, I'm tripping, I'm stressed, I'm good, I'm lost, I'm tripping, I'm stressed, I'm good, I'm lost, I'm tripping, I'm stressed, I'm good, I'm lost. Yeah, I live my whole life in my head. It's no wonder I'm upset. And the truth is, I'm used to my obsession with where to go and how to know the right direction. I'm tripping, I'm stressed, I'm good, I'm lost, I'm tripping, I'm stressed, I'm good, I'm lost, I'm tripping, I'm stressed, I'm good, I'm lost, yeah. If I was the captain of a boat, then I'm taking on water.
Yeah.
No matter which way I try to row,
stressed.
I'm lost, I'm
Tripping,
tripping,
I'm
I'm
stressed.
stressed, I'm lost,
Yeah.
I'm tripping. I live my whole life in my head. It's no wonder I'm upset. And the truth is, I'm used to my obsession with where to go and how to know the right direction. What to do, I don't know what to do, yeah. Oh, what to do, I don't know what to do, hey. I spend my whole life in my head. I'm stressed, I'm cooked, I'm lost. It's no wonder I'm upset. Yeah. And the truth is, I'm used to my obsession with where to go and how to know the right direction. What to do,
This is cool right here, right?
I don't know what to do, yeah. Oh, what to do, I don't know what to do, hey.
Let's go. That's cool because some of the drums in that, like some of the hi-hats and stuff, are actually hi-hats that I recorded when I was in Jakarta. So when I was in Jakarta, I went and recorded drums just like on a random song and a random beat, but I'll just go into those stems and take like loops from it and then stretch it to fit the song. And then so like some of the grooves and like the hats and certain things are like actually my own like taste and flair and like style. So that's kind of fun, and I like that song. Needs definitely some work, but I'm happy with it. So that's cool. And then lastly, let's go ahead and I'll share with you some quick music video clips that I've been producing. And let's see here. Hold on with me 1 second. Scenes, main scene. Okay, so I'll just share. Oh, here we go. Wait. Okay. So here's one of the scenes. This is kind of the, oh shit, sorry about that. It's not what I meant to grab. Here we go. So that's a scene. I've got a closer one of that too. Just. So that's that, and then I've been doing these corridor scenes, which are really cool. Look at this. Night close. I don't know how good you can see that. And then if you look at this, night wide. Oh, did I do 3 of these? Wow. Yeah. It's a better view. So I'm like on this like rotating thing, and then I did some that's the day, so you can see, yeah. So when it gets to the chorus, it turns daytime, and then I'm on this thing, and I've got a bunch of different versions of it, right? So I got and so, and then I just make a bunch of different clips of like different angles. I really love the way these look. I'm really proud. So that's that. And I would say I'm about maybe like 15% done. So I have like a bunch of other scenes I have to make and a bunch of other ones I have to produce. And then I cut it all together. And I have some cool ideas for like effects and different stuff I want to do. But it's a lot of work. And I made a big boo-boo yesterday. And like, cause the process to get a final shot is like crazy. I gotta like do all these effects, render these layers, put them together, export that, upscale it, put that back in, put all the effects on, export that, etc. But I did some mistakes, so I now have to go through that whole process again for like a couple of the shots. So that's kind of a pain in my ass, and I lose some money because I have to pay to upscale it. But anyways, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really cool, interesting video, and maybe it'll put me on the map in some capacity. Who knows though? Hello, viewer. Wow, I got 9 views this time. I usually get 0, so that's we're getting somewhere. Anyways, that's it for today's update. I'm gonna just freaking work my butt off today and rip it. If you want to subscribe to my updates, there's a link in the description. It's free, and you just get my updates in your inbox each week, and all the links to everything will be in there. So all the questions, the perplexity searches, all the links to the videos I talk about and everything, it's all in that. So just click the link in the description to check it out. It's free, and I do this every week, and I'll see you next week. Excuse me. Have a good one.